And so when you use high school of our dreams, we think more long term about where that child is headed and which classes will actually benefit them, which life experiences will benefit them. And we're not wasting time on things that they're not going to be helpful and making them miserable and making them think that they're not smart. I was scared of homeschooling high school. I was afraid I couldn't do it, especially, some of the subjects like math and science that were harder for me personally. I just was scared of how it would go, how it would look. We went through the high school of your dreams. When we went through it with our first child, it was great. It really changed my perspective on what high school would even look like. Going through that program helped us identify each child's strengths and think more about what general direction their future is. And so our three that are in high school, we have a pretty good idea of which ones are headed towards a four-year college, which ones are headed towards a tech school. They kind of know. And going through high school of your dreams, it felt like really narrowed things down. When I was in high school, I took some classes that were hard and they looked great on my resume or whatever, but they were really hard for me and they weren't even really beneficial. And so when you use high school of our dreams, we think more long term about where that child is headed and which classes will actually benefit them, which life experiences will benefit them. And we're not wasting time on things that they're not going to be helpful and making them miserable and making them think that they're not smart, maybe because they're in a class that's too hard or that's not in their field. It's sort of like when you're in college and you're getting into your classes that are really in your major and you love them because it's your passion. You can do that with kids in high school. Instead of a kind of a cookie cutter education where everybody takes the same classes, whether they like them or not, whether they need them or not, tailoring the kids' high school experience to the child has made a really big difference for us. For new homeschool parents, I would encourage them to talk to people they trust. Talk to people who have been homeschooling. If you can, find somebody who has homeschooled through high school. That is what helped me the most, to find people that I could get to know and see how their kids turned out. Ask them questions. When I was scared I could not do a transcript, to have somebody who said, yep, you can do this. These are the tools that are out there for you to create a transcript for your child. Our oldest just like last week was accepted into the first college of her choice, and we're all thrilled, and they accepted our transcript, and in fact they offered her a scholarship, and so things are looking really good for us. But if you would have asked me 4 years ago, I would have told you I was terrified of doing high school. And so talk to people who have actually done it, because the unknown is always scary. And so hearing from people that you know or get to know people, right? Homeschool co-ops are really good. Seek them out. Find Facebook groups for homeschoolers and ask those questions. That makes a huge difference. And Catholic Heritage Curriculum was good. They have a battle planner that's a blank planner, and all our high school kids use that. And then you get to write in, so in high school, you choose your own curriculum, you find your own curriculum, which was scary for me in the beginning. And now we're settling into a good routine, and it's been perfect for us. And that battle planner has worked great. The kids love it. It has these encouraging quotes at the top. It's super versatile. It helps us to record, right? But with high school, you need good records. And so then you keep a good record, and that battle planner works out really well. That way, when I'm going, what did we do back on this day or whatever, it's all there. And so that's what I tell the kids, like, write it all down. So the battle planner has been great. Sure. How many college kids do you hear of who go through 1, 2, 3 years of college and they have no idea what where they're headed, what direction they're going. And that makes it so stressful. Thinking about it ahead of time, and maybe not the exact field, but your interests, right? So like we have our daughter who, she knows she's not going to be in a medical field. That's not her calling. She's going to be in a people field. And at least identifying that narrows the scope. Then we don't have to be heavy on the science, because it's not her thing. She is not going to use that in the future. And so that is not a good use of time. And when you can identify that at the beginning of high school, you still need, we followed our state's graduation requirements. And so my kids are taking the classes that any public school kid would, but we're tailoring them to their interests and what is going to be most useful based on kind of the direction they're headed. And that does not mean that all of my kids know exactly where they're going, but we know where their strengths are. That's all you need to know. If you know the basic direction and then you tailor it down as they get further into high school, and it works really well.